All right, we are recording again. Ms. Perkins has called Yolanda Bishop as a witness. I will again indicate Ms. Bishop is appearing by phone and not by video. Just for the record. Mr. Frenzia, I'm assuming you don't want to make any statement regarding that, but I'll give you an opportunity in case you do.
No, given your statement that she's appearing by phone and not the video, I'm good.
All right, Ms. Bishop, if you can please raise your right hand.
Okay,
Do you
I'm gonna
solemnly swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
That is correct, I do.
All right, you can lower your hand. Please state your full name and spell your last name, please.
My name is Yolanda Bishop. I'll spell the first name U as in unique, Landa. My last name is Bishop, B as in boy, Ishop.
All right, Ms. Perkins, you want to ask questions of Ms. Bishop?
Yolanda, I just need you to tell them what you saw me go through and how you helped me and what you know about Lakeside.
Okay. Well, let's start with the last question. This is my personal opinion. I've worked for a school bus company since I was fresh out of high school. My first job was Lakeside. And if y'all don't know Lakeside, it's transferred into First Student. And we all know just the way janitors talk, doctors talk, everybody talks, okay? So for example, Lakeside was the bottom of the totem pole, but the first one was Lamer's Bus Company. They were the top premium go-to. So I never worked for them. I didn't work for them, but I did work for Laid Law. We carry the nation's future. They had a commercial. That was my first bus company. I'm a bus driver. Long story short, so I worked for them. Very, very good company. But as you're the bus company business, they always look down on you, depending on what name is on your side of your bus. So, but I worked for Laid Law, and I was proud of Laid Law. They was a good, very good company. We serviced people in wheelchairs, students in wheelchairs, which most companies did not. Anyway, so that was that. As I actually told Denise not to work for Laid Law because in the school bus industry, they have a reputation of buses breaking down, bus drivers not being on time. I mean, if you had a lakeside lake, it was not good. It was not good. Okay, that's just from my personal professional opinion of how people talk. Okay, so that was that. So as Denise went through this terrible experience with Lakeside, Laid Law, East Capitol, I told, whatever the case may be, I seen with my own eyes that she took a financial hit. I also seen that she took a emotional toll on her. And then you say, well, how do you know that? Well, most people, when they're doing good, they're doing fine, they tend to, look good, look fine, this, that, the other. And I also told Denise called me. She said, they're messing with my car. I said, what do you mean? Oh, they're scratching it up and they're doing this and that. I said, oh, Denise, that's terrible. I actually told her to go to my other bus company. But, once you're into a company and you got to pay your bills. So she was trying to pay her bills. I said, okay, fine. Denise has borrowed money from me several times. to pay my bills, to pay her bills, not my bills, her bills. So I've lent her, let's just say, over a couple of $1,000 just to pay her bills. After all this has taken place, she will call me and say that, oh, this so-and-so they're giving me raggedy buses. They're, so-and-so has pulled out a gun or, things like that. And I personally, as a school bus driver, can attest to that because I once have applied to that company. They, this might be a side note, but they had pulled, it was a young black lady. She pulled a Porsche Cayenne. She parked right in front of the school bus company. So whoever walked into that school bus to get a job, they seen her Porsche Cayenne black in color right there, right by the bus. The black man who takes the applications, I've seen him too. I filled out an application with them, and because I had heart issues, they said, oh, because of this, we won't be able to employ you. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, great, wonderful, because it just wasn't a clean, crisp environment. And most bus companies, even before the pandemic, they were begging you to come grab the bus if you could. I kid you not. So let me move on. Let me see. So like I said, I've seen a personal decline and then also her personal interests. I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, but Denise and I used to go to breakfast multiple times a week. Yes, it was McDonald's, or it could have been a sit-down restaurant. After she had this job, not so much. I've seen a decline in her physical appearance. I've seen a decline in her social aspects. Just things that were not her. Denise used to crack jokes and just be funny with it and just off the rip. That wasn't the case. Also, the most important event I would like for the court to note is that she had an appointment with she had an appointment with the
chiropractor.
No. It was a chiropractor, yes, but it was also a chiropractor, but excuse me, allergies. Hold on. Chiropractor, but it was also workman's comp, and workman's comp had a list of just say things you can and cannot do. And on that list, it said you can have one person, not two, not three, one person go into the office with you. And Denise called me up and she said, Yolanda, can you drive me to the appointment? Can you ride with me? Can you? I'm thinking to myself, that's odd, but you know what? As a friend, I would. And when we got into the appointment, it was a very nice building. They checked us in. We sat down, and then the actual doctor came out and said, no, you cannot have anyone come in with you. And Denise said, excuse me, sir, look right here on this paper, right here at the bottom. I can have someone come in with me. He was irate. He said, I'm not going to argue with you. Denise casually sat down and said, okay. So he took the paper to the front office. They dialed some numbers, and eventually it worked out where they said, oh, yeah, in reality, she can have at least one person come in with her, and that person was me. I was in the appointment, the entire duration of the appointment, and the doctor, and yes, he knew I was filming him, and he said, oh, did I? Or he speculated I was filming him because he had no such knowledge. And he said, did I do okay? And I told him I seemed better. But the whole point of it is, why would you, if that's the agreement on paper that y'all signed, why would you be so against someone just sitting there on appointment? I can't do nothing else but sit. So anyway, so that was one aspect of it. I'm looking over my notes, and like I said, I just seen Denise decline. She refused to kind of go to social events, and I seen her depression get worse. You can see depression. I don't care what nobody says. You can't see it. If you can see it, you can't treat it. I've seen her slowly pack on weight, not be as funny as she used to. I've seen her, even with her clothing choices, I've seen her not be as beautiful as she can, as flamboyant, as colorful as she used to be when I used to know her. Denise used to have very beautiful hair, very beautiful clothing, and that just wasn't the case. So I've seen, and then also emotionally, I want to just touch on this point. This is my last point. Emotionally, she will call me and say, "Oh, you know," she calls me a nickname. "I don't know how I'm gonna pay my rent. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I don't know why they treat me like this." And then part of you wanna go, "Oh, is that really true?" But I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen it with my own eyes, how they tore up her car, how they won't let someone come into the doctor's visit with her. I've seen it with my own eyes. So it's like, what part of me is crazy? Not too many. You know what I mean? And I just feel like they've treated her terrible. She would call me and say, "Oh, they give me this raggedy bus, and this bus stopped multiple times." I had a bus quit on me one, and like I said, I'm a school bus driver by profession. I had a bus quit on me one time. They sent another bus, they sent a tow truck bus, and I was on my way. So that's pretty much all I have to say for Denise. And also being a school bus driver. I'm not new to this. I know all about how to be a school bus driver since lay law, and the lay law is not even in business anymore. They're now first student. So that lets you know how far I go back. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. And that's all I really have to say.
Ms. Perkins, do you have other questions for Ms. Bishop?
Oh, she did good.
All right, Mr. Frenzia, you want to ask questions of Ms. Bishop? You're muted. Yeah,
Sorry about that. Didn't want there to be feedback. So I only have a handful of questions for you, Miss Bishop. Who do you work for right now?
I own my own business right now.
Okay. And you indicated that you, at one point, if I heard you correctly, said that you worked for Laidlaw, but you also interchangeably used the term Lakeside. Did you ever work for Lakeside?
Never. I would never work for Lakeside because they have the worst reputation ever. But no, I would never. That would be the last company I work for. The very last. Lakeside, no. DBI, no.
Okay.
Any more questions?
I just have a handful. I'll get there.
Okay.
So you've never been on Lakeside's property?
That's a stupid question because, Lakeside on East Capitol, I'm pretty sure that's not no. I've been on across the street at Walmart a very few times, but no, I've never been on any property. Oh, no, I take that back. When I did apply for them, like I just testified, I have to be on their property to do an application. So you can always look up my application. So yes, I have been on their property.
Ms. Bishop,
So
I understand. One second. I understand that Ms. Perkins had this situation, and perhaps you have a view of Lakeside, but if we could just answer the questions, we don't need to.
I did, sir. What do you mean? He asked me, have I ever been on the property?
Miss
And
Bishop. I can tell when people are getting upset. So telling him that it's a stupid question and the tone of your voice, I'm just saying, let's just answer the questions and move on. Yeah. Okay. So go ahead, Mr. Francia.
So aside from the time that you applied for a job with Lakeside, you worked on the property. So you did not witness anyone on Lakeside's property, the Lakeside, whether it was an employee or anybody who worked for Lakeside, damage their car,
stuttering
correct?
and moving really fast. I'm not able to understand all your words. Can you slow it down, please?
Did you witness anyone damage her car on our property?
No, I never said that.
I'm just asking the question.
I said no.
And you didn't witness any of the other events that she complained to you about, correct?
What other events? Well, I'm confused. What other events are you speaking of?
Go back and.
Well,
you said that she said that someone had pulled out a gun on her. You didn't witness anyone pull out a gun on her, correct?
First of all, I don't know if you was there when they testified. I've never heard that testimony. You're making up things at this point. I've never testified to. I just got in on this conversation. I've never spoke of a gun. If you review my testimony, I've never spoke of a gun. So I don't know, what are you referring to?
That's what you testified to. You said that she claimed someone pulled out a gun on her.
Okay, read me back the words that I spoke about a gun, please.
So you're saying that you didn't testify like that?
No. I'm asking you, to whoever who is recording this conversation, please.
All right. So.
No. Come on, Your Honor. Let's be real.
I listen. You're asking for something, and I'm trying to answer you. So if you're going to ask for something, let me answer you, please.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. All right. So this is being video recorded. There is no official transcript. You're welcome to say that you didn't testify to it. I will say for the record, I have in my notes that you said that Miss Perkins told you that. You said that they gave her raggedy buses and that she said that someone pulled a gun on her. Now, that's fine if you say you didn't say that.
I said raggedy buses. That's true.
Okay. All right. That's fine. So then your answer to the question is you did not mention the gun. And since you didn't mention it, then you obviously have no personal recollection of it. Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Francia.
Yeah, let's put that on the record. I've never spoke of a gun ever in this testimony. So we can make sure we note that. I said raggedy buses, never a gun. Let's make sure we got that nice and clear. So y'all putting words in my mouth. That's two persons. That's the judge and also the other party. So let's make sure that's nice and clear. I've never said a gun.
I'm clear that that's what you're testifying to now. You said just now raggedy buses. Have you ever been on our buses?
Yes, I have. Of course, I'm a school bus driver. I've never driven on your bus, but I've spoken to other school bus drivers of Lakeside and also DBI, which at the time was a sister company. Yes, and you can look at them and tell they raggedy.
You've never driven.
School bus drivers. Hold on, we have a checklist, as you all know, that we have to go through to make sure that bus is safe to pull off the lot. We have to write down yes, no, whatever needs to be fixed. You know that. Okay. So I can see signals not working. I've seen tires fly off from Lakeside. You understand what I'm saying? Come on now. Okay, so what is your question?
But you never drove any of our buses, correct?
I would never.
And you never inspected any of the buses?
I value my life. No, I would never.
I don't have anything else, John.
Ms. Perkins, do you have any follow-up questions based on this cross-examination?
No.
All right, thank you, Ms. Bishop. Your testimony is concluded. You can leave the platform.
You have a great day.
Thanks, you too. All right, Ms. Perkins, who's your next witness? Is it going to be you or is it someone else?
My sister.
All right. If you can please raise your right hand.
Wait a minute. Is she on?
Who?
My
No,
sister.
Oh, your
sister.
sister. I apologize. For some reason, I heard myself, sir. Do we need a 5-minute break?
Yeah.
Let's take a 5-minute break. We'll come back at 10 a.m. Let me go ahead and stop the recording.
Okay.
Thank you.